It's a cool evening in Manchester, and former Love Island stars are attending the launch of a fashion line. 12 months after the reality show ended, going to events like this is now just part of their job.
Yeah, how are you? Good.
West End performer Samira Mighty had 4,000 Instagram followers when she entered the Love Island villa. When she left, she had 1 million. Inside, the party is in full swing with loud music and many influencers posting on their social media.
Samira's been to loads of influencer parties since leaving Love Island. This, however, is my first, and what I've learned is you get a lot of free drink, free food, free merchandise, and there's quite a lot of posing.
If you're feeling yourself, then why not take a good photo, you know?
What about when you're not feeling yourself?
Sometimes, obviously, you're having a bad day and then you're like, you have to go to this event, you're like, oh, but then I think you just got to suck it up because it is your job.
Free champagne isn't the only bonus. Samira says attending these events also makes good business sense. If one influencer can reach 1 million people, then a group of influencers can reach millions.
Yeah, I try to support my friends as much as you can because then they can do the same for you when you have your own thing going on.
There'll be people watching who'll think it's quite superficial and shallow.
Yeah. Oh, no,
what would you say to those people?
I can see how it looks like that way because it's all on Instagram, it's all posy and makeup and stuff, but really we are just a group of people having fun, and like that is their jobs to influence, and like also Instagram is people's jobs. I never wanted to be an influencer, ever.
Samira has more social media followers than the UK's Prime Minister. It's a lot of power for a 23-year-old, and at times can be quite overwhelming.
I have this thing called Insights, and then you can see your audience, so 86% women, general age is 18 to 34.
But you've got quite a lot of 13 to 17-year-old girls
yeah,
following you.
I've got 13 and 17-year-olds, a lot of them actually.
Wow. And do they ever message you?
All the time. I do get a lot of serious ones, which is hard to reply to all of them because you don't want to make someone feel like you're helping them out and not helping out the other.
Samira's young followers regularly ask her for help about important issues. Earlier this year, Samira revealed she was having a lump in her breast removed. Her mum previously had breast cancer, so Samira wanted to encourage women, particularly black women, to get checked.
I got a lot of messages from a lot of teenagers being like, oh, you know, I was really scared, but then I've gone and done it now and it's all fine. I had a lot of messages like asking for medical help, and like some people actually sent me pictures of like stuff, and I was like, oh my God, I am not a doctor, I can't. So the main thing I'd say is like, go to the GP, go to the GP, go to the GP. It's not fine.
After weeks of being unlucky in the villa last summer, Samira's loyal following hoped she'd finally found love with fellow contestant Frankie Foster. But a few months later, footage of him kissing another girl emerged and they broke up.
The public breakup thing like made me really depressed, and like I was just, you know, you feel you've got all these followers but you feel really alone. I had so much anxiety, I felt sick all the time, got really skinny, do you know what I mean? Like I was just, I wasn't eating, I just looked awful.
Despite the heartbreak, Samira says she was well supported by producers and psychologists.
They were literally on tap. If you could send a message at 1 AM and they would reply being like, hey, I'll call you in the morning, da-da-da, and you're like, fine.
While Samira's experiences were positive, some people have raised concerns about the psychological support and aftercare on reality TV shows. It follows the death of 2 former Love Island contestants and the death of a contributor on the Jeremy Kyle show. It's often the producers who are blamed, so getting them to talk is difficult. They've also told us the industry is small and they fear they could lose their job. But we did find one who agreed to speak if we didn't reveal her identity. She's worked on high-profile reality shows on ITV, E4 and MTV.
All the reality shows I've worked on have offered support. Participants are warned about what could happen, like their friends being offered money for horrible stories about them, but they just don't take it seriously enough. Those talks happened before the Love Island deaths. They'll probably just need to be more serious now. When reality stars say production companies should support them, I think, why don't you give production companies some money from your personal appearances? Use that money for your mental health. People need to take some responsibility for themselves.
As MPs investigate the support given to reality TV stars, this year's Love Island cast will benefit from a new duty of care process. ITV says all contributors will receive at least 8 therapy sessions when they leave the show, and they will be trained on how to manage their social media and money. Following calls for more of a variety of contestants, this year's show includes a plus-size model.
I guess everyone's talking about more diversity, different body types, and when I was in there, obviously I know there was a lot of stuff outside about being the only like dark-skinned girl, but it didn't really faze me much. I think it would be great to see more like different races in there.
Samira is grateful for all the opportunities that have come her way since appearing on Love Island. She also says she's accepted that at some point she may be replaced.
The new season's coming out, you kind of pray that no one looks exactly like you and is you. You can't think of it that way, you've got to take your own path, because otherwise you'll just become a follower.